Also help friends, seeing potential in people and helping them on. But John never shouts about all his success. He's just who he is. Special.
So here's to men like John who make a difference, who enjoy Nile Special, the rich, satisfying taste from the source. Nile Special. You've earned it.
Not for sale to persons under 18.
Spectrum on Radio 1 FM 90.
Welcome back on Spectrum. Tonight, should government disband the Kampala District Land Board? How will this address land administration wrangles in Kampala? Our guest is Mr. Yusuf Nsibambi, chairman of the Kampala District Land Board, who had asked officials to come to the studios from the Ministry of Housing, Lands, Housing and Urban Development. The minister, Daudi Migereko, had nominated someone who later said they could not come because of legal issues. You will be able to call in and contribute to this discussion. Mr. Nsibambi, talk to us about how you allocate these plots. You come from DPs. Some people think you give them to DPs and leave out
FDC.
FDC, whatever.
Yes. I know, personally, I think there's no politics involved. But as I said earlier, I don't know whether on this show or another show, whether you FDC or not, as a Ugandan, you're entitled to serve your country. But we, as a board, I don't know the political affiliation of the other members and the applicants. So DP or UPC or FDC or NRM is not even an issue. Though if you're an FDC or DP, also entitled to land if it is available. We want to allocate land which is available. We don't initiate applications. The applications are initiated at the grassroots through the area land committee. So we don't recommend people to go for land or applications at the lower levels. It's actually from bottom to bottom up. We only come in after the technical officers have given their input, and our decision is based first of all on what is on the ground, the area and committee recommendations, and the recommendations of the technical officers who are actually professionals in that area. You have a planner who is supposed to advise whether the land is suitable for the application or the user applied for. We also have a surveyor who must ensure that the land is actually available at the cadastral. You also have valuers who must assess the premium and ground rent, and then you have the final technical advisor as the senior land officer, who now look at all these other issues and then advise that you go ahead and allocate or not. So ours is based substantially really to almost a formality as a board. But the board itself is also constituted of prominent people. We also have a senior chartered surveyors and valuers. We have retired civil servants. We have retired accountants. Basically, it's not a board composed of thugs or hooligans who are just grabbing land. And I think that's why our colleagues in KCC are finding a very big problem.
What's your relationship with the Uganda Land Commission? Uganda
Land Commission, according to the Constitution, Article 240, we are supposed to be independent of the Uganda Land Commission. We are independent of the Uganda. In fact, if Uganda Land Commission would like to acquire land on behalf of government where it has no title, it has to come to us for allocation. They came to us and we allocated them land of the Army Barracks at Summit View.
In Kololo.
So essentially now land belongs to the people. Uganda Commission is just supposed to hold land in trust for government.
Have they asked for land and you've said no in some places?
We had an issue on Chitante Road. It involved, I think, a company called Property Services. There was a court order declaring that the land is for property services and they wanted to use it for EAST or something, and then we said no.
Why?
Because the land belonged to a person called Property Services, and land belongs to the people. So whether it is government or not, you have to go through the formalities, ordinary formalities, and apply.
But is a security matter?
It doesn't matter. As long as land is not available, we want to allocate land which is available. So if there is a sitting tenant Like what happened in Owino. I cannot give out a lease to KCCA, which is under central government. It's government, but the vendors are the sitting tenants, so that the owner's land is not available. For the taxi park, they had a statutory lease which expired. They did not come to convert it. Now the sitting tenants are the taxi drivers and the operators in the taxi park, so it's not available for me to give to KCCA.
The taxi park belongs to the taxi drivers? Because
they're the sitting tenants, in my opinion. But we still have to get the technical input. Because on the coming to force of the Constitution in 1995, KCCA was supposed to come and regularize and apply. They did not. So their statutory lease expired. Now, in my opinion, the land is not available even if they applied now, because they are sitting tenants called the operators in the taxi park.
But how do you expect government to operate like that?
Yeah, then they should come and buy. Government has the resources to buy. Let them compensate the sitting tenants like you would apply yourself. That's the essence of the amendment. If you look at the Hansards, land belongs to the people. So instead of government grabbing and evicting people unlawfully, they should go through the same system like any other person and compensate adequately. It happened in Karerwe. KCCA wanted 10 acres to build a market. I said, you first go and compensate the Karerwe, the people who are sitting there in Karerwe. They're not called actually encroachers under the law. They're referred to as bona fide or lawful occupants. I'm not the one who actually came up with those beautiful legal provisions. So if government, like KCCA now under central government, would like to put up a modern market in Karerwe, you first adequately compensate the people who are the sitting tenants, the Viwanja holders, the lawful and bona fide occupants, then I'll give you title, like any other applicant.
You're trying to defeat the government?
No, that's the essence of the Land Act, to protect people's interest on land, because we all belong here. The essence, if you look at the Hansard, they say the colonials used to evict people.
And they don't want that to happen.
They don't want that to happen.
So they changed the constitution.
Exactly.
So if it was the old constitution, they would have their freeway.
But the constitutional process had to do a lot of consultations, and the people said now land should belong to the people.
So the taxi drivers own the old park?
Depending on the technical advice of the technical officers. But in my opinion, as an individual, I believe they stand a chance.
Because they seem to have gone to court seeking another, they actually have gone to court seeking another, an interpretation to confirm that the land doesn't belong to KCCA.
Anymore. Yes.
You think they stand a chance?
They stand a chance.
Talk to us about this CMB land that you refused to give her. What exactly happened about that plot?
That plot, there are a lot of issues. Originally, it is under Uganda Property Holdings, which is a government company holding it in trust. But changing the user from coffee and to allow the subdivision and giving it away, they have to come to us as a controlling authority to do that.
What did they want exactly? Because it's a large compound. You said 23 acres.
Yeah, yes. They're thinking of silos. They had proposed that they should have just 3 or 4 acres of the silos off. Then about 18 acres should be given away.
To who?
I want to protect the individuals involved.
You don't have to mention individuals. What kind of... Did they want to build a hospital or what? A children's
No, they wanted to turn into commercial plots.
Shopping malls?
Yeah, actually, even if you visit now, there are trailers parked, there are people selling tiles. Those are the people who actually were coming in with applications. It's actually no longer even an AGOA facility. Apart from, I think, the coffee plant, there's a little bit of coffee processing, which is also private, not government owned. So the very people who are operating in that facility, most of them really wanted to have it regularized by getting title. And I said, ladies and gentlemen, this is not even a Kampala issue. It's an issue which is a national facility. It used to be the biggest coffee processing plant in East and Central
Africa.
So if you want to change user from coffee, which is the main cash crop in the country, if you want to give it
Africa's leading,
if you want to give it to individuals, then kindly please present a parliamentary resolution. And that was a big problem. Who are you to question?
Men with briefcases.
Or orders from wherever.
Men coming with briefcases, dark suits, and pot bellies. Of course, they had turned it into AGOA, but the man who operated AGOA now became a diplomat.
I know. And I think after AGOA, they said they had leased it to LAP, a Libyan company.
Yes,
and then LAP was supposed to say, then they said LAP has an economic embargo. Then a week after, they said, no, instead of LAP, we have cancelled the lease, we now give it to individuals. I said, what a turn of events. It had been leased to lab. Then 2 weeks later, it should be given to India. I said, no, please provide the parliamentary resolution.
Maybe they have good intentions and you haven't realized.
Yeah, the issue has nothing to do with intentions. The issue has to do with the mandate. We are supposed to administer land taking into national and council policy. So what is the national policy over that facility? To be given to individuals, to build casinos and malls instead of the coffee processing? I think that would be contrary to national policy.
How about Owino Market?
Owino Market, I think, is we managed to give it to the vendors. They're having logistical and administrative issues to do with acquiring title. I hear recently the Prime Minister of the Republic of Uganda convened a meeting to discuss allocation of land of Owino Market, that they should have title immediately. I find it strange because as a leader of government business, it is supposed to be government business in Parliament. If it had been presented in Parliament, why are the vendors not getting their titles, their title to the land in time? That would be appropriate for him to talk about it. But convening a meeting in his own office to discuss a land management issue, I think that is unconstitutional, irregular, and actually meant to frustrate the vendors. They should pursue the Minister of Lands for titling. If they fail, they have to go to court because they have an allocation which we gave them, 10,000 peppercorn. KCCA acknowledged the money, so now it's not an issue. Now they have a lease. So whoever is standing in their way can be taken to court for mandamus, an order instructing them or her or him to work on the title, not to politicize it going to the Prime Minister, because he is a leader of government business in Parliament.
Yes.
He's not even a Minister of Lands. Where
he's Prime Minister, he oversees all the ministries.
No, that's not true. You look at his mandate in the Constitution.
The Prime Minister.
He's a leader of government business in Parliament.
Well, but his Prime Minister is over superintendent.
No, he has no such powers. Land management is clearly spelled out in the Constitution and in the Land Act and the regulations. His name is featuring nowhere at all. They are now politicizing it to derail the vendors from getting their title, and with time you find now here government has now guaranteed $25 million to develop the market. A guarantee means that your government is not giving a grant or a free loan. Why should you now get a guarantee of $25 million before even you get title?
Well, but a guarantee is good enough. The banks will give you the money.
Yeah, and likewise, if they go in for such guarantees and loans, again, the people who wanted to take it will now acquire it through foreclosure if they fail to pay the bank loan.
So you think it's a rules covered?
Why should you really give vendors $25 million as a guarantee before even they have acquired title, before even presenting their feasibility study, before as a group, as a SLOA, the association, sitting down and agree?
Before they even ask for it, have they asked for it?
Those are really issues which must be addressed. But I think I find it wrong and irregular for the Prime Minister to intervene at this level, because he has no constitutional or legal mandate to come in.
But he's a political leader. He has to look after.
But you don't play politics over people's livelihood. The poor vendors actually should not be involved in politics.
Selling tomatoes.
They want assurance of ownership for them to have sort of tenure and earn a living.
All right. Maybe before we hear from this, let's talk about Kabaka's land. There's a market in among others, a market in Wandegea, which is being constructed
by KCCA.
Yes. How does that happen?
On Kabaka's land? I would find that also irregular. Because if now KCCA, which is central government, constructing a modern market on a private owned property without the consent of the owner. And in law, there's what we call quickie planter. Soil said that whichever is attached on land is part of land.
Maybe so you might come tomorrow and say,
and the Kabaka will claim,
carry your building if you want to go with it.
Yes.
Listeners, this is Spectrum on Radio 1. You can call in now. Our topic tonight: should government disband the Kampala District Land Board, and how will this address land administration wrangles in Kampala? Our numbers 0414 348 111, 0312 260 390, 0312 261 390. When you call in, please tell us your name and where you're calling from, and also walk away from your radio if you can. Spectrum, hello?
Yes, good evening, Spectrum.
Good evening, sir. Your name?
Godfrey.
Spectrum, hello.
Good evening, Edmond.
Good evening, sir. Your name?
How are you?
Very well, thanks. Your name?
I'm Samuel.
Yes, Samuel. Spectrum, hello.
Oh,
Yes, sir. Come again?
Katatumba Edson?
Yes, Mr. Karatumba.
Yeah, I'll...
Spectrum, hello. Yes, sir. Your name? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just...
Spectrum, hello.
Good evening, Edmond.
Good evening. Your name?
I am thank you for you.
Spectrum, hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Your name?
Fred.
Fred, could you switch off your radio, please, when you're calling?
Yes, to come,
Spectrum, hello.
hello?
Yes, sir. Your name?
I'm Fred
Gonzalez.
I was just...
And bend the law a little bit, perhaps. Yes, sir. Your name?
Good evening.
Good evening. Your name?
The name, thanks for hosting Mr. Nsibambi. I just want to encourage...
Spectrum, hello. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Your name?
This is Fred once again.
Yes, Fred.
I want to congratulate the Council of Survivors for what it's doing.
Mr. Nsibambi.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'd like to thank the callers for their kind words and remarks, and specifically the advice. I should not appear to fight government. This matter has not just started today. We have tried to actually reach out and explain to all these institutions of government almost since July last year, until March, when we actually said enough is enough, where we had actually strict instructions to come up and take over expired leases and what they refer to as dilapidated buildings. We said that is unconstitutional and illegal and irregular. But I'll take the advice to not appear attacking government, which actually we've tried to avoid. The other issue, I think, which is here an important matter that I should talk about, the issue of the Prime Minister. I'm not attacking the Prime Minister as a person, but he came out to say government has not recognized the board. He's handling issues of administration and management of land, the Wino market issue. He has chaired about 4 meetings to do with what he referred to as an instrument to amend the constitution. So I'm actually advising him to really look at his mandate under the constitution and not overstep. That's the point. About the Naguru and Nakawa, that is Ugandan Commission. And that's actually we're wondering. The executive director is fighting to ensure that land goes to Ugandan Commission, where KCCA is not going to earn any income in terms of premium and ground rent, and it is known as a body of selling off most of the government properties.
Uganda Land Commission?
Yeah, Kyambogo University land, the Kololo East whatever land, Buganda Road, all these places. So
Shimoni was
Shimon, CMI, all these public facilities are being sold by Ugandan Commission. It has participated in 14 meetings to disband Kampala District Land Board. We have never been invited, even as participants, because legally before the disbanding will still exist. We have never been invited to give our input. So we have no recourse. We are looking at all those individuals involved, the 14 government departments and the Prime Minister, as part of the conspiracy. Maybe that's why we are coming out to attack them openly.
You say it's a conspiracy?
Yes, it is.
And you say KCCA is supposed to own this land to superintend over it?
It's supposed to earn premium
if you control it.
Yes, but now,
Land Commission
if it goes to Ugandan Commission, they will earn nothing. The other point, important point, they are saying we do not exist legally. But if we are not existing legally, they have involved the police to investigate us. How do you investigate an office which does not exist? 2, she has appointed a secretary called Diana Nambi. How do you appoint an officer of a body which does not exist? They are collecting ground rent and premium. How do you collect ground rent assessed and reviewed by a body which does not exist? So this question is here a big question which must be addressed by all Ugandans. Not a question of Nsibambi or Musisi or that we are seeking for jobs.
And talk to us again about the Kabaka's land. They're building a market on his land in Wandege. Have they agreed on that?
I think I will let that question be addressed by the lawful authorities in Mengo.
It's a dynamic situation. What could have happened?
Well, again, they had a belief that they control markets. Because under the Markets Act, markets must be controlled by the district council or the town council. At that, they claim to be a district. They're saying Section 5.4, they are now the district as an authority.
Yes.
So they took over all markets, not only in Wandege, up to Namungona and Chibuye, including all Kabaka's markets, saying that markets must be controlled by the district council or town council, not another personal authority.
And they're putting up a structure on it with World Bank funding.
Definitely. They have to explain how they acquired it with time.
And on Owino, you agree with the government?
We know the government policy, markets must be managed by vendors, and they gave out a lease to SLOA, which is a vendors association.
And the taxi parks?
Taxi parks, we are waiting for the technical officers' input, but as I said, they stand a chance because they're the sitting tenants.
So in a few plots you agree with the government. In other places,
not government. I agree with the government policy, what they call national policy. Not really orders and directions. It must be policy. If the government policy on markets, it must be managed by vendors, then I must take that as government policy.
And what can we expect to see from your office in the weeks and the months ahead?
Yeah, we are really functional. We are praying that the KCCA technical team, because the authorities, the Lord Mayor and councillors are with us. They should respect the law. They should go back and read, and instead of fighting, we don't have to get a winner because we are serving the population. This barua about who has authority, who has powers, should actually stop, so that we really serve the public generally. Banks actually are threatened because mortgages are collapsing.
Well, we'll have to go. Somebody said something about Kenya and Moi. We don't know what perspective you wanted to bring forward.
Yeah, I think he's trying to say that the land grabbers should not think of grabbing land, because tomorrow anything can happen.
We have to end. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Yusuf Nsibambi, Chairman of the Kampala District Land Board. Thank you for coming to Spectrum. At the Olympics representing Uganda.
Yeah, she's coming back on Sunday, and I think she will arrive here on Monday.
And you have a dinner ready for her at the house. Well, we have to go. Thank you very much for tuning in. I've been your host, Edmond. Kizito. Spectrum will be back tomorrow. Up next is the news in English. Thank you.
You can pay, you can buy, pay your bills, pay school fees, send cash overseas, pay taxes.